Hello everyone, happy Friday. I love you and I'm sending you a very big virtual hug wherever you are on the earth plane in this now moment. I have two messages and here's the first one. This is about relationships. So right now, we have the opportunity to break free of contractual relationships. Relationships where there is an energetic contract with another human. This can be a relationship with a family member, a romantic partner, a friend, a coworker, somebody that you met a couple weeks ago that you don't really know that well, right? There's a gamut of relationships or styles of relationships that you can have a contractual bond with or a contractual energetic cord with. And when you have a contractual relationship, what this means is that prior to dropping into human form, you and that other human, as a spirit, as a consciousness, chose to play in each other's lives in order to serve each other. So these relationships can be triggering. These relationships can catapult you. These relationships can offer you a completely new opportunity. Somebody comes into your life and all of a sudden you're on some other new trajectory, right? It can be like a jumping off point. A lot of times they can be offering you and allowing you the ability to really clear any sort of traumas that you've experienced throughout your life. There's a lot of reasons that we have contractual relationships, but they feel very different than other relationships, right? So a soul family, somebody that you meet and you're like, oh my God, I know you, right? Like you are family. That's different than a contractual relationship. A contractual relationship is like an energetic magnet that pulls you, right? And there is a pattern that you play with that individual. So it's almost like you feel like you don't have a choice sometimes in these relationships. And as soon as you step into the relationship, there is a pattern that the two of you play out. And many times, especially right now, these contractual relationships no longer serve you. But because it's an energetic cord, literally, that's connecting you to that individual, it can feel as if you can't get rid of it or you can't get out of it. You're stuck in it. And for a lot of us, as we are shifting into higher states of consciousness, what happens is that these contractual relationships where there's an energetic cord connecting you, it can pull you down. It feels like an anchor that is literally pulling you back or pulling you down. And so you start to have resentment, you start to have anger, you're starting to blame them, and it's not their fault. This is a contractual agreement. It's you and them contracting to experience something together in this human life. So when you start shifting into higher states of consciousness, that relationship is going to feel kind of funky, like it doesn't work anymore. It's not fun when you're around them. You find yourself moving into these lower states. Not their fault. It's just the contract, right? So right now, I was shown that it is the prime and perfect opportunity to get very clear on the relationships in your life that are contracted, that are no longer serving you, and that feel different than your own frequency. And then you clear them. But here's the piece. It's not black or white. You don't just shut them off. You don't just turn your back on them. First of all, if you turn your back on a relationship that's contracted, that energetic cord is still there. So you got to cut the energetic cord, right? You got to cut it. And just because you cut an energetic cord doesn't mean that you walk away from the relationship. You can cut an energetic cord with your mom or your dad or your brother, your sister, a romantic relationship that you have or had, a best friend, I don't know. You can cut the energetic cord and still be in relationship with them. But you are going to be very different. You're not going to play the same patterns. Now, when there's an energetic cord connecting you, when you connect with them, you play out the same patterns. When you break that cord and you show up in front of them, you don't play those patterns anymore. You're free. So it's a choice whether you want to stay in relation with them after you cut the cord or not. There's no right or wrong about it. right? It's not like, oh, they're bad for me or they're pulling me down into these lower frequencies, so I need to get them out of my life. When you understand energy, you understand as a sovereign being, you can show up in front of anyone and be you without being impacted by them. Always. It's a choice. And it's a choice recognizing how your sovereign field works. So right now, let's break these energetic cords with our family and our friends and our loved ones and our lovers and relationships, whatever it is. And let's not look at it as bad. Let's not look at it as, oh, I have to get rid of these people from my life. Let's look at it as energetic beings from an energetic perspective. What relationships do I feel like a magnet is pulling me to them? And every time I'm with them, there's a pattern that plays out very naturally that I'm not comfortable with anymore and that I don't want to be in. That's how you know there's a contractual bond. Then you sit down and you move into a quiet meditative sort of space and you visualize that person in front of you. You visualize an energetic cord connecting you. And then you choose to release that energetic cord. You release that record that you have with them. And you may have to do this multiple times. But it's simple to clear. It's simple to release and cut a cord. It doesn't take anything other than intention. And then when you show up in front of that individual, if you still stay in relation with them, you have to now choose to be different. If you choose to no longer have them in your life, then you're just done completely. You don't need to worry about showing up. But for a lot of us, we have contracts with our parents and with close family. Okay? And so you can't necessarily turn your back and say goodbye. You have to learn how to show up differently after you cut the cord. There's not a technique to cut the cord. There's no like specific absolute way. You choose, you intend, you visualize. And when you start cutting cords from all of these different relationships in your life that no longer serve you on an energetic level, it's not that they don't serve you. They're not doing anything wrong. The energy doesn't serve you. The contract is complete. As soon as you start doing this in your life, you're going to find yourself so much more free. You're going to stop blaming other people in your life for experiences. They're doing this to me. Every time I'm around them, they make me feel this way. Every time I'm with this person or that person, I feel like I'm brought down into a lower state. That's your fault, not theirs. That's your choice, not theirs. As soon as you cut that cord, you're free. They can't impact you any longer on an energetic level because the cord is cut. And so when you show up, recognize that there's going to be a natural way that you want to play out with them and choose to show up as the higher frequency being that you are in a completely different frequency now, no longer connected to that cord, and watch how they respond. They're not going to necessarily understand that a cord was cut. So they're going to want to have that same relationship, that same back and forth with you. They're going to want that. And so you're going to watch that. Oh, look it, they are playing the same way we've always played. I'm not playing anymore in that same back and forth programmed, patterned way. This is how we free ourselves out of the matrix. This is how we release Akashic records, because these contracts are part of our Akashic record. So let's free ourselves from any relationship contracts on an energetic level that no longer serve us. Because what this is also going to do is it's going to bring relationships to you without energetic cords, without a connection that is contractual or Akashic, but quantum. So they're going to match your frequency and they're going to expand with you. They're going to feel like family, right? They're going to feel like, I know you, you know me, we're family. You're going to see yourself in them. It's going to feel like your soul family. the more you let go of these contracts and trust that you can let go of the contracts. Because letting go of the contracts doesn't mean you're letting go of them. If you don't want to let go of them, you don't have to. You just show up as a sovereign being. That's it. So, choose the contracts that you want to clear. Sit down and visualize the individual in front of you and the energetic cord connecting, and cut it. Cut it however you want to cut it. And if you need to do it 100 times, you do it 100 times. There's no such thing as, how many times do I need to do it? I don't know. You do. And then watch yourself how you show up. Pay attention to whether you're blaming other people right now for how you are being, how you're feeling. They're pulling me into lower frequencies. They're making me feel these ways, blah, 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 right? When you are a sovereign being, you're in control of your reality. Nobody else is. It may not feel good when you're in front of them, but you have a choice. You always have a choice. And if you're living with somebody and you have a contractual agreement with them and you can't get away, you can't get out of the house, cut that cord over and over again. And when you show up in the kitchen, when you show up in the bedroom, when you show up in the living room, you watch how this pattern wants to play out, and then you be different. You be outside of the pattern. Over and over and over. We're shifting, you guys. This is a piece of the shift. This is a piece of stepping into higher states of consciousness. And it's a powerful now moment that we can do this. I love you. Thank you for being here. Holy cow. I can't wait to share my next message. Okay, love you. Bye.